Guys? Do you guys want me to get you a room? Okay. Howdy everybody and welcome back. Let's do a quick check of... Ooh, and I just noticed something back there before we do that. Ooh, another dillo egg. 2 dillo eggs. They're laying eggs like crazy after the latest patch. Oh, they weren't laying eggs at all before. Okay, anyway. Oh. Any eggs? Nope, no eggs. Alright. Okay, anyway. Let's check on our organic turrets because I believe they have finally sprouted. Yes, they have. Look at these little things waving around. This is pretty cool. You basically, and let's check on their water. Their water's still got water, still got fertilizer. I don't know that they need water. I've been told they don't, but you know, they didn't grow without it, so I'm not quite sure. Anyway, if you walk up to these things, you can put them to sleep, which makes them kind of stop swaying around so much. Wake them up, and then if you hold down your use key on them, you can change their range. Right now, it's on high range. But I can make it low, I can make it medium. You can change what they target. These are just same sorts of things you can do on the mechanical turrets, the ones with bullets in them. Right now it's set to basically everything that isn't us is what it's going to attack. Since we're single player, that just means aggressive or wild dinos at this point. So that one and this one are identical. I think what we need to do now is test this and show you what it does. And to do that, I think we're going to hop on Gavin here, and we're going to go fly off, and we're going to find a dillo, and we're going to bring it back and drop it in front of those turrets and see what happens. Be right back. We've grabbed a dillo. We're flying back. We'll use this little sucker to test the organic turrets. See how it goes. Okay, let's line up our drop to be right between the turrets. Switch to an angle where we can see what's going to happen. And here we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, decimated immediately. Those turrets are awesome. Poor little dillo. Oh, poor little dillo. All right, that test went pretty well. The other thing I want to do today, one of the other things I want to do, I'm cooking up some meat here that I collected out and about, is I want to go ahead and move into the age of more metal. I want to move into the age of the fabricator. Even before we upgrade this building to stone, which we're still in the process of doing, because our little friend Steel back here, where did I put Steel? Where's Steel? There's Steel. I got a saddle for Steel, and I went out and about collecting some stone, but I'm going to do more later, and I'm going to start building. You notice I've been doing the perimeter of the base here, and this is about what I described before. I'm going to go down here to basically to the water, and I got as close as I could there, and then I'm coming out here as far as I can with foundations. It wouldn't go out any further, and then I'm going to cut across this way, and there's going to be a big behemoth gate here, opening up to there, and I'm going to take down that wall at that point and leave those turrets out there still, those organic turrets. But basically that's going to be the size of this pin to start with, and we'll see where it goes from there. And it's going to be walled up 2, maybe 3 walls high. I'm not quite sure. We'll see what we can do with stone, but I think it's going to be pretty cool looking when we're all done. Anyway, what I really wanted to do is go ahead and build a fabricator and start getting into fabricated stuff. Allows us to do even more. Remember, we got the blueprint for a fabricator. I went ahead and threw that over here on the smithy already. There it is. And I gathered the necessary materials. Requires 35, let me move it over here so you can see it better. 35 metal ingots, 20 cementing paste, 50 spark powder, 15 crystal, and 10 oil. All of that is here on the smithy. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to craft one of those. Now, these are powered by gasoline. So we're going to have to make some gasoline. And I mentioned in a previous video that really is a combination of hide, we'll take 200 hide, and oil. And it's a 3 to 5 ratio. I think it's 5 hide to 3 oil. So let's just, we're not going to make too much of it. Let's just throw in 25 oil and whatever hide we've got and get an ignition source in here. Spark powder's fine. Wood would even work. It doesn't really matter. I've been having a lot of extra thatch lately, although now I'm starting to run low again. I think let's take some of this wood. Go in here, start this up. And that's going to formulate some gasoline, and we'll get back to that in a minute. We have our fabricator. I'm going to go and take that blueprint and put it back where it belongs. And now we get to place this fabricator, and I'm thinking it's a pretty big, if you look at this, a pretty big thing. And I'm personally thinking, let's try the old, and it's not going to work in here indoors, unfortunately. The old trick of using your cinematic camera to place it. But I want to try to line it up here with the smithy. And I guess the best way to do it is to line it up here and just walk it out until we can actually place it. Try to get it straight so it's not at an angle. Using the logs of the floor as my guide. There we go. Fairly close. We can still walk along this side, which is nice. Still gives us room for another row of storage cabinets if we ever want to put those in. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work really well. One of the other things I want to do once we have this fabricator is I want to make a industrial grill. Because now that we have Lucky, our T-Rex, we can harvest a lot of meat and cook a lot of meat at one time. Instead of having to have these dual campfires going here, as we're doing now, we can use the industrial grill, which is really cool. It's also powered by gasoline, but it runs really quickly. It cooks stuff amazingly fast. We'll have to demonstrate it once we get it up and running, but anyway, not to get preoccupied with that. So here's our actual fabricator. There's a couple of things I want to learn how to make in the fabricator. I haven't gotten blueprints for them yet, so I'm going to go ahead and spin the engrams. One is I want to make a canteen. A canteen is like a water jar, which we have already, but it's a lot lighter and it holds 3 drinks in it and it doesn't leak, which is great. I'm also going to go ahead and get into metal armor at this point. I might as well learn the engrams, even though we'll probably come across some blueprints for them later. I'd rather get into the armor now. So I'm going to spend a lot of points here on these metal armor pieces. Here's the industrial grill, but I need to learn the... I have to learn the fabricator engram. You know I have a blueprint for it. I have to learn the fabricator. Alright, fine. Now I can learn the industrial grill. Eventually I'll make a GPS, although it's not critical, especially in single player. I just like to know where I am. There's the canteen. And we will get into electricity at some point down the road, but not right now. Great thing about electricity is the lighting, but it's also more importantly the refrigerators, which you see down here, which allow things to last a very long time, which is cool. All right, now let's go back into the fabricator now that we have purchased some engrams to actually use there. And for our metal armor, we're going to need metal, hide, and fiber. And I think we have plenty of that. I'm going to take some metal out of here. Oop, too heavy. Too heavy. Do the old throw trick. And place that on there. Hide and fiber. Hide and fiber. Let's take 400 hide. Did I take 400 hide? I thought it. Yeah, I did. And some fiber. Let's take 400 fiber. Just to keep this thing stocked so we don't have to... That's not where I want to put it. That's where I want to put it. And we should actually be able to construct all of those middle pieces. Oh, we need gasoline, don't we, to turn it on? Let's see how the gasoline's coming along. Look, it's generating little gasoline cans. There's a thing about gasoline that you need to be aware of. In fact, we're almost ready to generate the last. In fact, that was the last one we could possibly generate because we don't have 3 oil left to generate any. So I'm going to pull that out. The thing about gasoline that you need to be aware of on these gasoline powered things is when you start something up, it consumes a can of gasoline. If I was to put all of this gasoline in here and start this fabricator up, roughly 40 hours of real time later, all this gasoline would be gone, and then the thing would shut off. What you really want to do is you want to store the gasoline in a place, and in fact, I'm going to put it here in the rare box, where you just take out one at a time. And if you're going to use the fabricator, don't turn it on and then turn it off when you're done. Just leave it running until you're sure you don't need it anymore, and it'll run itself off. So let's turn it on. All right. Now, if we go into armor, we should be able to make each of these pieces. Which are now being constructed. And start pulling that out. This is the armor that's, it's called flak armor, it's metal armor, it's kind of medieval knight sort of stuff. It's really kind of cool. You can dye it just like any other armor. And resist the temptation to turn it off at this point, because you may want to come back in here and make something else, and you'll just waste another can of gas when you do it. We need a fabricator. It's going to require 200 metal ingots. I don't think we quite have enough in there, but we do have more. And I also want to take 32 of those and start cooking them. 32 of those. Start cooking that. We might have enough to make it now with this. It is. We need 30 crystal. We need some cementing paste, right? We've got plenty of crystal. Let's just take that 51 and throw it on here. Cementing paste 40 we don't really have right now, but we can get oil of 40. I think we barely have. No, we don't have oil of 40. Ah! Alright, I need to go harvest a couple of things. I'm going to end up wasting that can of gas, because I don't think I can make that now. But in miscellaneous, how much for the canteen? I'm going to have to learn how to make polymer. So let's figure out that engram. It's down here under, once you get the fabricator, you can learn the polymer and the electronics. And right now we just need the polymers. And I'm getting this strange feeling that I've passed it. No, there it is. There's our polymer. So what does it tell us polymer needs? That's in a composite here. 2 obsidian, 2 cementing paste. So we need a bunch of cementing paste, don't we? For that we need stone, and we don't have a lot of stone. Oh, I've used it for my construction. And we need keratin or chitin. And we actually have a lot of extra chitin. I'm going to kind of... Actually, I don't really need the chitin anymore for chitin armor, do I? So let's take that keratin back over here. Let's just take chitin out and use chitin. And throw that on the mortar and pestle. And I don't know that we're going to be able to make enough cementing paste. Maybe. I don't think so, because we need to make a bunch of... we need to make 10 polymers. We only need 4 for this, but for the polymers we need 2 per. That's 20 cementing paste, so what do we need? 24 total. We don't have enough stone. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to have to go out and collect a whole bunch of stone, and I'm going to have to go harvest a bunch of oil, and I'm not going deep sea diving for that right now. I'm going to do that by just killing a whole bunch of trilobites, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, and now I have to go out and collect some stone, so I thought I would take the opportunity to show you how steel works, how the Doedicurus works, and hey, by the way, check out this cool shiny armor. Hey, Lucky, what you doing? Yeah, you're going with us, Lucky. You're going to be my protector, and you're going to be my pack mule at the same time, because you can hold a lot of weight. So, let's grab Steel, and you're right on Steel. He kind of waddles around, but he's got a cool alternate mode where if you right click, he rolls. You can't change his direction when you're rolling, and you just right click again to get out of it, but he rolls a lot faster than he moves, and it's pretty cool. And you can also bowl things over when he rolls into them, which is pretty cool. So we're going to tell Lucky to follow us. Well, I'm going to try to tell Lucky to follow us. Lucky, there you go. I'm not telling Lucky to... Is that Lucky? Yeah. Alright. Lucky's following Steel. So we're going to have Lucky the T-Rex come on out with us and be a protector and a pack mule for us. Head on over to these rocks right here. Now you can tell a critter, like you can harvest rocks a number of ways. One, you can walk right up to them and hit your fire button, your mouse click, and he'll just start smashing the rocks. You see he's added 43, total of 83, total of 126. Or you can got off of him, and actually if he's still hungry for rocks, he'll smash on his own. Or you can let him go in an area where there are rocks and set him on wander, and maybe have a couple of guardians following him or something, and he'll just go harvest rocks on his own. You don't even need to be there. He'll just basically fill up on rocks. But we're going to do it manually. Watching his weight, he's pretty much full now, so we're going to take some of these rocks off. Oh, what can I hold? About 300? I can probably hold 309, I guess. And we'll slowly creep over here to Lucky and throw them on Lucky. Because he can hold a fair amount. Alright. Because our objective here is to make a lot of cementing paste, right? So we're going to get as much stone as we can for that. Okay, and we're back. And we collected a whole bunch of rock, and I created enough cementing paste to do what we want to do. And I also went and got some obsidian to make some of the materials we need, and I collected a whole bunch more oil. So I think we should be able to make the stuff that we want to make now. Question is, where did I threw the gasoline over on the purple chest, didn't I? You know what? To make it easier, since it's right next to it, I'm going to throw it on the, if I'm allowed to put it in here, the smithy. Yes, I am. Cool. Take 1 can of gas. Throw it into the fabricator. Turn it on. Now, first thing I wanted to make was a canteen. I need 10 polymers for that. So let's come back over here. We're going to make 10 of these. I think 1 just makes 1, yep. I think that's 10. We'll find out here shortly. As soon as it becomes available, this should become available. There we go. Let's craft our canteen. We can say goodbye to our water jar. Actually, what we'll do is put our water jar in the water tap and say goodbye to one of the water skins. Actually, no, let's leave them all in here. Well, we got to fill up our water canteen, of course. Alright. And the great thing about the canteen, like I said, this is weight 5. This is weight 2, but it has 3 drinks in it, which is just awesome. It's really lightweight and lasts forever. Now, we also wanted to make our industrial grill, and we have everything we need for that. Let's go ahead and craft that. Now, the industrial grill, I'm going to put it back over here, and I'm actually going to, since it's next to the preserving bins until we get electricity and get refrigerators, I'm going to actually, we've got some cooked meat and some bad meat in here, demolish these, and I'm actually going to demolish my beds too, and yeah, I just wanted to double check I had the right thing selected there, and replace the beds. Hopefully I don't die while I'm doing this, right? So let's demolish these beds. And I'm hoping the industrial grill should fit in there. I think it will. From previous experience of placing one, I'm pretty sure it's going to fit. Let's use that item. Yeah, it's going to fit just fine. The question is if I can get it lined up without wasting space. Okay, in fact, it's going to fit really well. I'm going to have to hope that's lined up well. Looks pretty lined up, doesn't it? Okay, the industrial grill also takes gasoline, and I'm going to put one in there for now, but I'm not going to turn it on. Because what I'm going to do to demonstrate the industrial grill is I'm going to go out on Lucky and collect a whole bunch of meat and bring it back and grill it. Is there anything else we want to build on this while we still have the opportunity? We got the armor we needed. We might as well make... Well, let's don't make the polymer until we need it. Now, there's nothing else. Let's just double check our engrams, see if there's anything else that requires the fabricator that we want to use or build right now. So once we grab the fabricator down here, we see the metal armor showing up. Here's fabricator. No. We don't need the middle irrigation pipes. That's usually mostly for PvP. You don't want people destroying your source of water. On PvE, you don't have to worry about it too much. Most of the middle stuff we don't have to worry about that much. Might as well learn electronics since I'm going to be getting into that soon. Middle. The flashlight attachment's not that great. I do want to learn the GPS. I have to learn the compass for that. So let's real quick. Let's see what we need to do. Compass is way up here near the top, isn't it? There it is. Compass. GPS. I found a blueprint for the electrical outlet, which is awesome. I don't need to worry about that. I'm going to do an electrical generator at some point, so I might as well learn those. No, shotgun not important right now. I don't know what I want down here. I know I need a refrigerator at some point. Might as well learn it. No C4, no advanced bullets right now. We'll get there. Miner's helmet, no. Transponder tracker, absolutely. Gonna learn that. Transponder node, absolutely. Those are useful for tracking your dinos if they get lost in the wild. Say you die and they're flying away, they're in combat or something, and you have to go find them and you can't find them. The tracker will show you where they are, no matter where they are in the world. It'll show you the direction they're at and how far away they are. Really cool. Okay, I don't need a vault yet. And I think we're good on engrams. And let's see those new things we got on the fabricator. Can we make any of them? No more miscellaneous. I don't think there's any more in the armor. Structures, yeah, we've got our electrical stuff going. Generator's going to need 10 electronics eventually. Refrigerator's going to need more polymer and electronics and crystal. And we already did the cooking. Electronics need pearls. We've got a bunch of those saved up. So looks like I'm going to have to go digging a whole bunch more things. Polymer, electronics, crystal. Okay. Yeah, cementing paste. 5 polymer and 20 electronics is all we need for the GPS. Let's see if we can do that real quick. We just need 5 polymer and 20 electronics. So I think we can make the 5 polymer. And 20 electronics are going to require a bunch of silica pearls. Let's see what we've got over here. It's pretty much the only use for silica pearls, so I might as well throw most, if not all of them, on here. Actually, it was composites, electronics. We're going to need a bunch. I don't know if we need 27. How much metal does that consume? Just one? Yeah, let's just make all 27. And let's go to navigation, GPS. As soon as we get to 20 electronics, we'll be able to make that. And while we're doing that, I'm going to unload some of the stone that I left on our animals out here, and then I'll make the GPS and go out with Lucky and get a whole bunch of meat and show you how the industrial grow works. And I'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're back, and for demonstration purposes, I just went off and killed a Brontosaurus. I have a belly full of prime meat, and it's a perfect example of, whenever I get prime meat, you might have noticed that I'm rushing back and forth, as fast as I can to get all of this stuff out. So what I'm going to do right now is just take everything I can from Lucky, go over to the grill, and just do a transfer all, and then only puts compatible items in there, which is all the meat that needs to be cooked. Turn on the gas, which consumes the gas can, and you're going to be amazed at how fast it cooks all of this stuff. In fact, let's make sure that the regular meat is down here at the bottom, because this does cook in order. It starts at the top and goes, left to right, top to bottom. In its cooking, and it should do most, if not all, of that prime meat in one go. Boom! Look at that, 12 plus extra regular meat was cooked. It cooks 13 at a time, and it looks like it cooked interestingly enough, the prime and the regular meat at the same time, which is kind of strange, but okay, I'll go for it. Oh, I see. We're out of space for this. That's cool. I'm glad we're out of space. That's awesome. Let's throw this in here and get it cooked as well while we got a chance. Because this gas will last about an hour, so we might as well get as much meat as we can and cook as much meat as we can. And fill up all of our coffers here. Might even need to make another preserving bin or two. There's room for another one easily right next to there to store all of the cooked meat. Or we can just go put it in all the animals, which of course is probably a better way to do it. although the preserving bin does last longer. I got some eggs out here. I'll just look for some more raw meat that I've stowed on some of these animals, and then go out with Lucky and get more and cook it up, and don't waste any of that gas, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, everybody, welcome back. I think we had a lot of fun here making our fabricator and all the cool things you can make with the fabricator, and getting our industrial grill up and cooking a lot of meat and getting Lucky out for some exercise. And also checking out those organic turrets. I think we're going to work on that raptor taming that I talked about before, and do more of our stone upgrades. And I do want to do an episode where I am finishing up the pen and finishing up the house upgrades. So you'll see a little bit of work being done from time to time. But when I get to the point of putting the finishing touches on everything, I think I'll put that into an episode all by itself, just so you guys see what's going on there. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, Lucky, take us out. Good boy.